We are live with Patricia Bahia, and we are at Backstage, Compass Backstage. This is Compass Backstage, and my guest is Patricia Bahia. I'm going to talk to you about her in a second, as soon as I get this rocket and rolling. Oh, there we go. It's happening now.
Yay. Okay, cool.
Only took 3 tries for, you know what? If we think about it, I mean, what's to complain? We're
I know,
literally
it's pretty amazing, right? Like we're,
in the
talking to
world.
each other, across the ocean and a whole continent, and
It's like when you're like you call an Uber, like, where's my Uber driver? I'm like, literally, like satellite going to space and back again. Somebody you don't know is going to show up and take you where you want to go. Like it's a miracle this thing happens at all. So
yes,
it's all
agreed,
good. It's all good.
agreed.
So let me tell you all a little bit about Patricia. And if you're on TikTok, please join us on Instagram or YouTube, where you can see both of us talking to each other. You'll get the whole conversation.
Cool.
But Patricia Bahia is a songwriter, performing artist, and a cancer survivor, known for her uplifting blend of pop and soul, her empowering messages of unity, joy, and hope. She wrote her first song after her diagnosis prompted her to leave her career as a lawyer, trade her briefcases for guitar cases. I love this. And start living her bucket list life as a songwriter, and has been very successful doing this. Well, I want to talk more about that because it's really, it's awesome. It's inspiring. It's what a lot of people are afraid to do, and you've done it. So it's super cool. So Patricia energizes and empowers, brings people together with pop anthems, sharing optimistic and inclusive music. Her message centers for spiritual living, unity centers, music festivals, and conferences. Her credits include multiple Peace Song Awards, Positive Music Awards, John Lennon Songwriting Contest, West Coast Songwriting Wins, as well as songs on ABC, CBS, CMT, the CW, ESPN, Fox, Freeform, MTV, NBC. You're winning at this game. Let's welcome Patricia Bahia. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
100%. I'm so excited you're here. I want to start with, and I talked to somebody the other day who does retreats, who does a lot of healing work, was a therapist, or is a therapist, and just in the simplest way, they said the only thing that is like an absolute given is that you'll die. The rest is all choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
to make the choices of what you really want to be doing, this is what we I say you need to, but this is our opportunity to constantly actually curate the life you want.
Yes.
And you have, and you are. So I really want to talk about that, like the before. You transformed massive personal trials into a deeply hopeful music. Resilient. Talk to me about the giving up one briefcase for one case for another case. Like, talk to me about that.
Well, the short story is I came to songwriting as part of my healing from cancer. So I had been a lawyer. I was also a legal tech entrepreneur. So I had a company with my husband in the San Francisco Bay Area. And the funny thing about that is we both wanted to start this company because we had artistic pursuits that we wanted to follow, and working for other people was getting in the way. But as many entrepreneurs know, when you start a company, you're free to work any 80 hours of the week that you choose. So
I feel you.
we ended up really having less time in a way to be pursuing our art. The company was massively successful, which was great, but not a lot of time to do a lot of other things. So when I had ovarian cancer in 2003, I really wanted to, I had always wanted to write songs. I thought songwriting was this magical thing that only other people who had music degrees and knew all about theory and, could orchestrate and all. I don't know why I got all these ideas, but anyway, it wasn't something I thought I could do. And the catalyst for just even trying it was the cancer, because I just realized, wh- why not? Like, and
Yeah,
if not now, then when, And so I just started taking baby steps. I luckily had a very good friend who was a great piano player. And he said, "Look, you've got a voice, you've got something to say. Why don't you just come over and sing whatever song you have in your head, sing it a cappella, and I'll play the chords until you hear the chord that you've got in your head."
I
And
love
so
your
that's how I first started writing,
love your
was because I had been a jazz singer for years, I'd been a
That's how I
gospel.
started writing.
Pardon?
That's how I started writing with someone else, like,
Yeah,
them playing stuff, I like that chord, that one there, I like that one.
right.
That's how I started.
And then, as time went on, I got educated. I actually got a master's in music because, why not? Um,
What else
but
am I doing with those 80 hours? No, that's amazing. You got the skills that elevated your writing. You got the skills you wanted and needed. So
right. But
that's
I
fun.
really feel like, particularly with ovarian cancer, I mean, there are all these theories. But one theory of dis-ease is that, and particularly with something that's linked to the creative aspect of our humanity,
Yeah.
the
Womb
ovaries, that's where the eggs are, right?
and the
Uh,
womb.
yeah,
That's
exactly,
everybody's that second chakra is everybody's creative center.
right. And so by not exercising that, by not allowing myself to be creative and, going down this road of being a lawyer and all the stuff that I was doing that wasn't really feeding my soul, that led to the disease. And it was an imbalance,
Mhm.
which isn't to say, that every lawyer is going to get sick or anything like that. But I feel like for me personally, um, I knew as a young girl that I was destined to be in music, but I came from an immigrant family where, it was really encouraged, and especially for the girls, and I appreciate this. My parents really wanted us to be self sufficient. They
Mm,
didn't want us to, suffer financially,
amazing.
and so there was this big premium on, you know, going to college, doing something practical, and, I'm glad that I went through that and that I was a lawyer. It's helped me a lot in music.
Sure.
I have a level of, um, ease and, um I can't think of what the word is right now, but, like, I'm confident, around legal agreements, and, things don't intimidate me,
Yeah, that's great.
and I feel like that's a great thing to carry into a music career, because it's easy to get, for people to try and talk down to artists, and they think we don't know what we're doing,
Right.
and
Yeah, a lot of artists are incredible business people. Amazing.
yeah, well, you
I
kinda have to be, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I love, I love I love it. I love the process, like, I love that you said yes to it. I think when you talk about, your parents, I think most parents, they just wanna know that their kids are gonna be okay when they're gone.
Right.
So that drive of, like, that self-sufficiency, I wanna know you have a career that you'll make it or you'll be okay. I think it just really comes from that. I
Right.
wanna be okay
Yeah,
without
they want the best. I mean, I totally understand that. And
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I appreciate it much more.
Mm.
At the time, I wasn't particularly appreciative, but here's the thing, you can be good at more than one thing in life too.
Very true. Very
I was a really good lawyer. It just wasn't good for me,
Yeah.
you
Well, it
know?
wasn't what your soul was itching to do, right?
Yeah.
You're like, you've had this desire and this calling for a long, long time.
Yeah.
What made you join Compass? Like, you've had this breakthrough, you've had success as a writer. What made you say, "Oh, there's something I need that I'm" what were you feeling or stuck or what it felt like it needed some change or just growth?
Yeah. Well, um, I've most of my recent success has been working with other artists on music that is being released either under their name or under like a project name that isn't necessarily me as an artist. And the thing that really drew me to Compass was I'm getting ready to release music as an artist again. And I really wanted to get a framework to focus on my artistry and getting the songs that I've written for me and that message, getting those out into the world. And I find as a, even though I was a lawyer, I'm still a people pleaser. It's so easy for me to like just follow along with what somebody else needs as
Mhm.
opposed to focusing on what I need. And so what I love about Compass is it gave me that framework and the accountability, like the meetings, the different topics and the exercises and all of those things really helped me get focused. And I have
Bringing it
these
back to you.
I have these I don't know if you're familiar with the white stones ceremony, but at the beginning of the year, a lot of times there's an intention setting thing that happens in Centers for Spiritual Living. And here, I don't know if you can, if this can be backwards, but
Yes.
clarity
Clarity.
and vision. And, that's what I set out like as my sort of um, guiding principles for this year. And Compass has been a huge part of helping me
Ah,
clarify. Yeah.
makes me very happy. Oh, I'm gonna have to make an adjustment. 1 second. That makes me very, very happy. I think we're okay here. I just got mood lighting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I like it, I like it.
nice. It's gonna come back. I'll turn it off. My office. It's silly. I need to come here during the day and have them fix this. Basically, the lights go out every 20 minutes. So
Oh, yeah, you probably have to wave your arms around or something.
it's something like that, but the waving of the arms doesn't work. So I have to figure out what it is.
Oh,
I mean, they've told me what it is, but it's not working. So
oh,
we'll try
gotcha.
it. Anyway, I'll keep this. I'll keep it off and then it won't do it. Silly, silly stuff. Okay, let's talk about this clarity and vision.
Okay.
Was there something in the process that surprised you, like, oh, I didn't know this was part of my story, I didn't realize that is something I haven't been sharing, and it's really a big part of me, or that's been holding me back? Was there a surprise in it? And for those of you on TikTok, come join us on Instagram or YouTube at my channel at Wendy Parr or Wendy Parr Official, and you'll get to see Patricia, who I'm talking to.
Great. I don't know if it was so much of a surprise. What I felt like I really got out of Compass was, the ability to name and 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 put a spotlight on things that I knew were there,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't necessarily focus on them or have clarity about them. Let me just give an example. So, one of the things that I've always thought about songwriting is that it's kind of magic. It's taking, like, you walk into a room, a co-write, and there's nothing, and a few hours later, there's this
Abracadabra.
there's this thing that never existed before.
Totally.
Um, and going through some of the exercises that we did in Compass, particularly the archetype work, I realized, I mean, I think maybe all songwriters are, but I particularly resonate with the idea of being an alchemist,
Mm-hmm.
taking something from one state and morphing it, transmogrifying it into something else. Um, taking an idea and making it into, a beautiful piece of art.
Totally.
And then I realized that what I've been doing with my life is actually taking life and making that into music. And so I've really started, becoming more clear about um, that. And the other thing that I've become more clear on is uh, my work as a healer and a teacher and a sage, which I had never put any of those words on. Um, yeah. So
You thought lawyer and songwriter, right? Like
you
we
know,
we all have a we all have identifiers for ourselves, right? And with
right,
that becomes like this idea that, oh, I'm not these other things, I'm just these things. But actually you're many things. And as you've also kind of grown into yourself in different stages of life, you're like, oh, I am more this now.
right. Like for example, I used to sing with a gospel choir. It was in the Bay Area. It's called the Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir.
Mm.
And actually, I'm going up there in December for the big holiday concert to be a special guest at the
Nice.
holiday concert. We're going to be reprising one of the songs that I used to solo on when I was part of the group. Um, and I loved the group singing, singing in harmony, just the emotional aspect of that music. Um, is really is the music itself is like a religious experience.
Yeah.
And the community aspect of it also. And what I found is over the years, I tend to write a lot of songs that have a sing along or a call response section in them. Um, just naturally, I just gravitate toward that.
Yeah.
But through Compass, I realized, this is really an outgrowth of me as a community builder, which, I strive to build community like wherever I am, and whatever it is I'm doing. Um, so that, it's just what I think. If I had to just say that Compass is one thing, it's teaching artists how to brand from the inside out.
Yep.
So much of branding in the past, when I've worked with branding people, it's like, you pick a color palette and fonts and da da da, but it's not coming from your soul.
Yeah.
It's like a thing that gets slapped on as opposed to an outgrowth of who you are as an artist. So, this work that we do in Compass, it's deep, it's time consuming, it's a lot, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. And also, having you there to guide us through it is so wonderful. I really, your insights, just listening to you give advice to the other artists. Sometimes I come on and on a meeting and I don't really have any questions, but I always end up learning something or getting an insight, just from hearing you go over somebody else's brand deck or their, whatever it is they're working on. I'll be like, oh, I see that for me too. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And so I'm thrilled. But with artists in this in Compass and in like the artist's job is to take the audience on the journey that you want to take them. Like, is my message landing? And that for me is the message of Compass, or of what Compass is we're building your brand from the inside out. We're
Mhm.
going inward to find your external expression.
Yep.
And to say it simply is we're building the brand from the inside out. I love that you said it with such clarity. I'm like, but then it's working. Like what I
Yep.
am intending is what's happening, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that I see marketing often as not good marketing, but let's call it mediocre marketing. Is like it's shallow, it's shiny, and it's slapped on, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
sometimes that happens because if the artist isn't clear, someone's going to decide something, and so
Right.
it is going in a direction, and it lacks the depth and connection to the artist because the artist isn't leading it.
Mhm.
But when the branding is authentic, it's so deep, it makes you curious. Like you're like, "Oh my gosh, I want to know more about this artist," because you can feel the meaning behind everything that you're looking at.
Mhm.
Unconsciously or consciously, like it makes you curious because there's something to dive into. There's more to look at. There's more energy to it. It really is deep.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just watched the film. I think I watched the film Sinners recently, and I was like, I need to watch it again and again because there is so much depth and layer to it.
Oh, I've heard great things about that film. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Amazing.
Okay. I heard the
And
music is
the
fantastic.
music's fantastic. But you'll see it. Like there's a particular scene when you see the scene, you'll be like, oh, this is what Wendy was talking about.
Okay.
That the meaning behind this film is so deep, and it makes me want to like what makes me want to know more about the creator of the film. I want to learn more of like, and even if I didn't know what it was, the movie is moving me deeply, and that's why, because it's just layered and layered and layered. So
Mm-hmm.
it's layered in truth and in a strong opinion. It's layered in a philosophy. It's written. Oh, it's amazing. Um, tell me about this. What's different for you when you sit down to write or you go to co-write, whether it's for you or for someone else, crafting a lyric or building a melody? Like, what is different for you now?
Um, yeah, I've been thinking about this. I think I've never been one who settles for, particularly for lyric.
Thank goodness.
Um, and uh, sometimes I'll work with people who are like, "Oh, that's good enough," and I'll be like, "Mm, it's not hitting the way I want it to feel." And I think I've always been like this though, but yeah, like I'm working on a song right now that like this morning I woke up with like I just can't stand this one line I've got, and so I'm like crafting 4 or 5 alternatives and sending them to my co-writer and singing them into, my phone and leaving messages. I've probably always been like that, but I feel like I'm more intentional in a way, like, because one of the exercises that we do in Compass, this is for, Wendy already knows this, but this for the people listening, um, is we play our music for people that don't necessarily know us and ask them, what are they getting from this in terms of how does it make them feel? What is the message they're receiving, et cetera, et cetera. And I was really happy that the message that I'm trying to put out was actually received. Like I got back exactly what I was intending. So that was really cool. Um, and so I just want to make sure I keep doing that, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I mean, that's the work of the songwriter, right? Like, and the artist, like, and you just keep shifting and adjusting until, yes, what my intention is what is landing, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes, and again, one more time for TikTok, join us on Instagram or YouTube on my channel to see Patricia, who I'm speaking to. I think sometimes as the singer or as the artist, we think it's all us. So it's like, oh, why isn't this working? It's me. But it isn't always that. Sometimes it might be the lyric, or it might be the arrangement, or it might be. I had an artist who put together on their first tour, a very traditional pop, 4 players. And it really wasn't working. Like, it wasn't delivering the sound and the vibe that the album had. And that was clear. It was like, yeah, this isn't doing it. It isn't doing it. And
Mhm.
then for their next tour, they changed the configuration. They're like, oh,
Mm.
I need these instruments, and I'm not gonna say it, so don't give that person stuff away, but they're like,
Right.
I need these instruments and not that one. Take that one away. I want this, and then we'll trigger this stuff on it with stems. And once they dialed that in, it was like, there it is. This is delivering your album now.
Mm.
And that became their setup since, like 15 years later, that's the setup. And it just took a second to figure out what instrumentation, who needs to be on this stage with me to get this album, to get my sound and feel across.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it wasn't a traditional setup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I love that. I love that. I think that this is life. That life is
Yeah. I mean, we're all just walking each other home. We're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but I think that it is constantly like reflecting, adjusting, and then taking an action, and then you reflect again. Is this? And the first question to me always is does this thrill me? Does this feel good to me? Does this resonate with me? Yes,
Mhm.
that's the first. If it doesn't adjust already, forget the audience. Like, you're the first person. You're the first audience member as well as the doer. So
Yeah.
feel yourself first, and then okay, now let me do this publicly. Is it landing? And
Mm.
some artists get in their own way of saying, that's a weird thing to say. It's like blaming them. But some artists don't know if it's going to land or not because they're not playing live yet. They're like, I got to get it to a place before. But I'm like, oh no, you need to hear and
Mhm.
receive from the audience to know if it's landing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you might think, oh, I'm not ready. It's not ready. It's not ready. And then you go public and they're like, oh, I got really great reception. People were really moved. And like you thought, oh, I'm not really a qualified songwriter, right? I don't have that degree, so I can't start songwriting yet. Some people feel that way about their voice or about their song,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And some people put out the first song they ever wrote, and I'm like, please don't do that. It's not ready. Like you need to draft that 10 more times and write 10 more songs, and then we'll get there, you know. But other people wait and wait and wait, and actually you need the feedback to know where
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Well, and I think that, um, finding places where you can share the music when it's in its nascent state that's safe.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to release it to, all the streaming platforms. Try going to an open mic or even better, a song circle. Like, I haven't done one in a while, but that was my process for many years.
Yeah.
I would take songs in progress to a group of songwriters, and we would all listen to each other's songs and give feedback. And, if you heard the same comment from 4 or 5 of the people, it's
There's
something to
truth.
listen to. You don't have to change your song. No one's obligating you, but if you hear that same feedback over and over again, then it's something to look at. It's like, "Oh, yeah, well, maybe this isn't landing like this. Maybe I should, you know,
Yeah, I
rethink
say the
it."
same. If you hear the same thing from 2 different people and they didn't confer with each other,
Right.
then there's truth. And I think also, like, sometimes the more resistant you are to that, there's it's because they're hitting the truth too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That can be.
uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of uncomfortable, let's talk about that. You describe your concerts as communal experiences where people feel permission to be themselves, and thank you for doing that because the more spaces we have like that, the better. Where were moments in your process that felt messy or vulnerable or like you maybe you did want to retreat, and how did you move through that?
Hmm. Um,
And if you all have questions, please drop them in the comments for us.
uh, what moments that felt messy, vulnerable, like I want
Mhm.
to retreat? I think, well, when I very first started performing, um, I really didn't know how to play. I could sing. I could always sing, but my playing was like it was really rough, and, I had to just give myself permission to suck in order to get better at it, because there's no way to get better at performing without performing. And I would practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, and then I'd get on the gig, and I would be so nervous about my playing, like, I would forget what the next chord was or, just like, um so one of the things I did is this is before I had an iPad. Now I use an iPad, um, but if I'm working if I'm performing a song, it's new, and I'm not sure I'm gonna remember it, I don't let myself go up there without at least something to lean on. I'd rather have that little 3 by 5 card or iPad or whatever it is and be able to deliver the song
Yeah.
than to, like, deer in the headlights moment, like, "Oh my god, where does the bridge go?" I can always remember the melodies and the lyrics, but, like, the playing is still
Yeah.
sometimes, I need a little chart
Yeah,
just
you
to
need
make
some
sure,
support.
that I'm going to the right place, and I know other people who, like, start as instrumentalists,
Yeah.
like, they just have to have their lyric sheet,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Um,
It's where your
and
strengths are. It's where
yeah,
your strengths are or where you
exactly.
have more time and experience.
So, yeah, I would say, yeah, the only way to get better at something is to keep doing it and give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Um That's the one thing that cancer did for me is, the what will people think,
Mm.
uh, all of that stuff. I was just like, "I don't care." When I was going through treatment, I bought a drum set. I took drum lessons. I did hip hop dance. I took piano. I don't care if I sound like crap. I just want to learn. And what's great is I never really became a drummer, but I can talk to drummers now because like I know what the different parts of the drum kit are and like, what just basic stuff that it really, helps me. But I had to look like an idiot and sound like one, for quite a while.
You're a beginner at it, right? I
Yeah,
love I
and
love
it's hard, as an adult, especially as an adult, especially if you are, if you've gained a level of mastery
Yeah.
in one area of your life, it can be very daunting to go back and be a beginner at something. But
Yeah.
I'm telling
Really
you,
important
it's
to do it.
so worth it.
Yeah. It's very important to do it. It
Yeah,
actually makes you better at the thing you're excellent at as well. Um,
yeah.
but I do get it. I think having as you said, the grace around, like if you know, oh, I've really excelled at this, I've spent years at this, I can't possibly get this to be as good as that because the just even the time gap will never be closed, right? So
Mm,
the amount of time and attention I've given this will always be in front of the other. So I'm going to allow myself to not be amazing at this and just learn from it, have fun with it, mess up with it. Which I think can also give you that grace with the thing you're excellent at. Because just
mhm,
because you're excellent at it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect at it either.
mhm,
You shouldn't
mhm.
be, and you won't be. That's it. But I also I did that with dance. So I went back to dancing, hadn't danced in a long time, and I'm in a class with like, well, I took a master class with Akram Khan, who's my favorite choreographer. He's absolutely incredible, like philosophical, beautiful, beautiful. And I got to take a class with him. And I'm at that point, I think I was in my 40s. I hadn't danced in a lot of years. And I actually think I had a shoulder injury. Yes, I definitely did because I remember we did a move and I couldn't hold myself up because I had a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Um, and I was in a class with, 18 to 24-year-old Juilliard dancers who are currently or developing themselves to have a full-time career as a dancer.
Mhm.
And I I didn't care. I mean, I felt like a mess a lot of the time, but I had the best time. And I was like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm not, I know where I am. I have a shoulder injury. I haven't danced in years. But when he also sat down to talk to everybody about his philosophy, about things that were on the inner working of the artist, I was eye to eye with him.
Mhm.
Right? So it's like, oh yeah, they can't catch up to that because I have thousands of shows under my belt and years of experience. Like I'm here, I am we say more advanced or more experienced, I would say, at
Mhm.
this part than they are. And that part, they're thriving, they're dancing 8 hours a day, and I'm not right now. So I think that's also important. I catch that sometimes with artists where I had a session with somebody who was in their third session with me. So we've worked, this is our third hour of working together. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm just not getting that yet. I'm just not getting it." I'm like, Why are you expecting yourself to? This is the 3rd hour of us
Right.
working together. I
Yeah.
certainly don't expect you to get it."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, sometimes framing our expectations is also really it's just my wife does this for me well. I can get very emotional about something, or I'll have I have a big vision of, and she'll just very, very realistically say, "Well, XYZ, like, and XYZ and D and F," and I'm like, "Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, that perspective just made sense, and
Mhm.
why am I frustrated or mad or whatever I'm feeling?"
Mhm.
So that perspective shift can be very helpful. Perspective at all is helpful.
Mhm.
What are you excited about to learn next, either creatively or in how you show up as an artist and healer? being that your mission is to invite people into a joyful and inclusive community. What are you excited about next with that?
Well, two things. I have a new EP coming out, and I'm super excited about that. The first
And you and
single,
I are going to be looking at all the artwork and all the everything before.
yes, the first single will be out as soon as I get the artwork together, but I think in the next month. Um, and and then the other thing I'm really excited about is I've been invited to start leading healing music retreats. And I'm talking with this group in Jamaica. I have to talk to them since the hurricane.
Oh, goodness.
The,
Yeah.
the place where we're planning on having the retreat is in Negril, and I know that that was an area that was pretty hard hit. So we may have to move it time wise. It was supposed to be in March, but I'm super excited about partnering with them. And I've done many retreats, like as a staff member on a retreat, but this will be my first time being like the person putting it together and leading it. And
Awesome.
yeah, and I feel like a big part of that, being feeling like I could step into that is part of my work that I've done in Compass, because we identified one of my archetypes as sage, and guide, mentor. I've been mentoring, I've been doing things like that, but I haven't like really stepped into that as like part of my identity as an artist, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to do that. So yeah, that's coming up next year.
That's really exciting. I mean, this conversation, I think that the sage in you, the mentor in you, it's been present through the entire time. I mean, you've said things a few times. Just the way you framed it is to like, oh, for those of you who are listening, like you really know that you're passing on wisdom to people who may be right behind you in their journey, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so it's very clear that that's you. It's so cool. I love it.
That is cool. Well, it's cool, because I always thought um, that I didn't want to be, quote, a teacher. Because there's this whole, and I know it's not even true, but those who
Yeah,
do, and those who can't teach it, or all that stuff. But reframing it
yeah.
as, passing on wisdom and being more of a sage and a mentor and a guide like that, I totally resonated with that when you helped me reframe. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
totally.
this is a part of me that I do naturally, but I've kind of always felt like I didn't want to put the label of teacher on it.
Sure.
And now I realize I don't have to label it that. If that's a label that carries baggage that, I just don't resonate with, then I don't have to do it.
That's amazing. I think that definitely something that happens in Compass in this process is that it really is. You realize like we can't like why this is weird right now or Zoom is weird. Like is you look at yourself while you're talking to someone. I turn my view off, my self view off because
Uh-huh.
we don't live in the world. Like I actually can't see myself. My eyes look out at the world. I cannot see myself.
Right, right.
And as humans, we see ourselves through the reflection of other people's eyes, how
Mhm,
they treat us, how what they say. I love being seen. Like someone tells me something about myself, I'm like, oh, tell me more. I love this. You're seeing me, and I get to see me that way. Oh, that's so cool.
mhm,
I'd love to be seen that way. And so often, um, what's happening in Compass is you're not becoming someone new. It's just it's hard to see yourself because you're like, yeah, that's just me. I'm just being.
mhm,
And so identifying like, oh, this is who you're being, and this is amazing. This is powerful in who you're being. This is actually a thing, right? And now you're stepping into a gig that is a thing with that healing and mentoring. And you're like, oh, and you may find in the next few years, you're like, oh, this thing has really brought me so much joy in the world, and I've impacted so many people in the world, and I've had my career has opened up being this part of me and expressing this part of me and living in
mhm.
this part. And so that's really what it is. It's very much identifying who you are, that I'm just being me, and someone else is a goofball. And you're like, you're a goofball. Please be a goofball. Be a goofball in your lyrics. Be a
Yeah,
goofball. We need goofballs
we
right
need
now.
laughter. We need laughter. Because if you can't laugh, then you're gonna be crying.
That's true.
Yeah.
And someone might not recognize that, like, that goofball is like, oh, that's the thing that's so endearing about you. That's the thing that makes you different than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what makes your art,
Hmm.
lean into it, lean into it. I love that. I really love that. What would you tell, my last question to everybody always is, what would you tell young Patricia?
Don't wait for permission. So much of when I was in my 20s, um, actually before that, I wanted someone to tell me that I could be a singer instead of just deciding that I am a singer and I was just waiting for somebody to tell me that I could do it. Yeah. So don't wait for permission. I feel like we're given callings. And if you feel like a really deep desire to do something, that's a calling that you've been given,
Mm-hmm.
and ignoring it does you no service and does not serve the world either. So
Completely agree.
go ahead and give yourself permission to do what you've always wanted to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have permission.
Yes, you have permission.
You were born. You have permission.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
don't be
you.
afraid to suck either. Don't be afraid, to be bad at first. Don't be afraid to be a beginner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Thanks for sharing your story and your life experiences and your wisdom today. It's really great. For those of you listening and watching, Patricia's music is more than entertainment. It is really an invitation. So I invite you to go check her out, follow her, patriciabahia.com. We can put that in the chat as well. And the long form of this will be on YouTube later. We'll share bits of it on socials as well, so you'll get more of it. I really recommend. Her music is very beautiful. I think that just as you're sharing here today, like, you change the energy in the room and your music does that. So thank you for turning your life, your medicine into music, and for sharing that with us. It's healing, and all music is healing, but the fact that you are intentional about it and aware of it, and when the lyric doesn't hurt good enough, you make sure that it does. I always say it's got to hurt so good.
Yeah.
That's the integrity of the writer, and I love that. I think I told you this, that, like, your music, there's a lot of your music that is my favorite stuff about music, and
Oh,
I
thank
feel
you.
I feel a kinship to you with that. Like call and response. Like, one of my ingredients for all of music is call and response.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. It feels so good.
Yes,
And
it does. Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and the new EP has a lot of that, and I also am very blessed, to have some amazing actual gospel singers, doing the backing vocals, and, yeah, it's really good, I have to say.
that's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for the world to hear it. Sign up on her mailing list, follow her on socials. And Patricia, thank you so much for joining me on Compass Backstage. I think that
Thanks for having me.
these conversations are very meaningful, and I think that they are very helpful.
Alright, thank you.